Welcome back to Profit Path. Today's crypto headlines include Tether launching a US-based stablecoin, BNB hitting a fresh high after a major institutional partnership, and altcoins like Remittix gaining real momentum. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that button so you don't miss the top crypto moves every day. Let's jump right into it. We have three big stories today, plus some brief news nuggets to watch. First up, breaking news from yesterday. Tether launches a US-based stablecoin. Tether, the largest stablecoin issuer by market cap, has launched a new stablecoin called USAT. So here's what's going on. It will be issued by its newly licensed subsidiary Anchorage Digital Bank, which was granted approval by regulators in the state of New York. And what is interesting is that this new stablecoin USAT will comply fully with United States stablecoin regulations under the applicable law known as the Genius Act. You may know this as the first US legislation specifically addressing stablecoins. Now, Tether says USAT will fully comply in three key areas. Number one, asset backing, meaning USAT will be backed one-to-one with US dollars held in custody at an FDIC-insured financial institution. Number two, audits. Independent third-party audits will be conducted periodically to confirm that Tether has sufficient reserves to cover all outstanding USAT. And number three, reserve disclosure. Tether says it will publish a reserve report at least twice a year.
Provide monthly attestations and make both the reports and attestations available on its website and through a secure data feed. They've also published a white paper for USAT, and according to them, the project aims to provide an easy and trusted way for consumers and institutions to access digital dollars.
Tether says USAT will be available in the US through a growing number of exchanges and service providers. And while they didn't name names, they did mention that several prominent exchanges and financial institutions are in advanced discussions to integrate USAT. There was no mention, though, of USDT being delisted or rebranded as USAT internationally. But I guess we'll see over time how this stablecoin is received in the US and whether it gains favor versus USDT. Either way, it seems clear that Tether is aiming to be the dominant player in the US stablecoin market. And it's interesting to see them fully embrace regulation as opposed to shying away from it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Quick hits. Next up, BNB surges after a major institutional partnership. Binance coin BNB jumped to an all-time high of $907, briefly topping $900 after Binance announced a new partnership with Franklin Templeton Digital Asset. Franklin Templeton is one of the world's largest investment managers with more than $1.3 trillion in assets under management. And according to Bloomberg, this development suggests that even more institutional money is poised to flow into crypto. And lastly, for our altcoin news, Remittix RTX is getting some major investor buzz. Remittix is a cross-border payments protocol built on the Ethereum blockchain. And according to India Times, its upcoming beta wallet and recent confirmation of listings on Bitmart and LBank have boosted investor interest. In fact, it mentions that Remittix is now generating more social media buzz than established altcoins like Cardano and BNB. And why might this be the case? Well, the article suggests that investors are looking beyond just big names and instead seeking hidden gems.
It notes that Remittix has a lot of things going for it, including a presale that raised over $24.9 million, more than 655 million tokens sold in less than 18 hours. And again, those upcoming beta wallet and listings on Bitmart and LBank.
If you're interested in this coin, keep it on your radar. Next up, let's shift to some brief market and regulatory news to watch. First up, positive vibes from the macro front. US economic data continues to paint a favorable picture, and that's contributing to bullish looks in crypto. For example, the S&P 500 hit a fresh all-time high yesterday. IPOs are still red hot. 11 companies went public last week, raising a total of $3.2 billion. That's according to Dealogic. It's also worth noting that fewer companies are going public in 2021 than in 2020, but the money raised per IPO is much higher. It's almost double. On the jobs front, the US economy added 235,000 jobs in August, and the unemployment rate fell to 8.4%. It's still higher than pre-pandemic levels.
But as long as jobs continue to be added and the unemployment rate falls, that's a net positive. Inflation came in slightly above expectations, but with wages rising at their fastest pace in records, perhaps that won't be a concern for much longer. On the regulation front, USAT will likely face scrutiny as stablecoin regulation tightens. Speaking of regulation, Bitcoin mining in China is officially outlawed. But here's the thing. It's still happening. In fact, local miners are claiming that it's business as usual. Some said they're hiding their equipment in caves to avoid detection. Others said they're sharing electricity sources to disguise consumption patterns. Either way, the crackdown appears to be in full force.
And lastly, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey unfollowed someone he'd previously followed for criticizing him. This is apparently because the CEO wants to reduce the amount of time he spends on the platform. I thought this was kind of funny. Which brings us to the end of today's video. To recap, Tether launches USAT stablecoin, BNB is at a new high with institutional backing, Remittix is heating up among altcoins, and macro regulatory trends remain a key driver. Which of these do you think has the most upside? USAT, BNB, or the altcoin momentum? Drop your view in the comments. And if you're enjoying these updates, make sure to subscribe to Profit Path for daily crypto insights. See you tomorrow.